interesting. You have an actress like Gina Carano, and she has her takes and gets fired. But then when you have actresses that say stuff that's actually controversial with the fans, no one cares. Like, for instance, the actress that plays Snow White, she says that she doesn't like Snow White, that it's a story about misogyny and stuff, and it angers the fan. No one cares. You have a person like this suggesting that if the child identifies as Bill Clinton, the parents shouldn't have anything to do about it. Like, it's up to how the kid identifies. You know, if the kid says that he's Hitler, who are the parents to contradict the kid? And then the question is, like, why is an entertainer who's supposed to be inclusive and is supposed to provide entertainment for everybody, why are they taking controversial opinion? Why do they even talk about other people's children? Like, that is the last thing you want to do, to talk about other people's children, especially if you're not an expert in the field. Like, you're not a child psychologist, you're not even a politician, right? You're just some actor, so you're going out of your way in order to be controversial. Like, would you be fine if other people talked about your kids? I don't even know if she has them, but like, the thing is, and this is why it's very concerning, is that it's a one-way street. Like, people have noticed it up until now, that if you have a kid which is cisgender, right? Is that the word, cisgender? Okay, so they're cisgender. People won't freak out, and I'm pretty sure this lady won't freak out, if the teacher notices that the kid plays with dolls, and it's like, hey, don't you feel that maybe you're a little girl, but don't you feel that you're trapped in a man's body, right? If the teacher does that, there's not going to be much outrage about it. However, if you have a child that is transgender, and they do identify as the other gender, and you have a person going, it's like, hey, don't you think that maybe you can work and be comfortable with the gender you were born in? That's transphobic. You can't say that. That's transphobic. That's abuse. And you notice that even when it comes to judicial law, is the same. Like if you have a child who wants to transition and the parents are getting a divorce, and one parent supports the transitioning, the other one doesn't, they will always side with the parent that supports. Every single time. And if the child changes his mind, it's like, well, it's probably because the other parent was abusive, right? So this is why people are taking issue with this particular statement. Because it's a very controversial statement. Most people feel very strongly one way or another. And to have an actor coming out and taking part in this controversial take means that the company itself supports it, which is no surprise. I mean, up at this point, we know what Disney stands for. But like this is how actresses promote themselves. Like, it used to be that actors would promote themselves because they were really good in certain films, right? So like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he had a great body, like he had the body of a bodybuilder, and he played in some films, and he did an amazing work, so people wanted to see more of him. And then it turns out, oh look, it's not just an action movie hero, he can also play comedy, like Kindergarten Cop, and that one with the man getting pregnant. Like, he was doing an amazing job, so people knew about Arnold Schwarzenegger because of his performance. And then, Megan Fox. Well, Megan Fox was smoking hot. So, like, everyone was like, well, it's got Megan Fox in the movie, we gotta see it. But, like, basically, actors were either, like, taking care of themselves, like, going to the gym constantly, being on a diet, in order to be as presentable as possible, and be a star. A star is, like, someone that is very rare. Like out of 300 million people, this person looks the best. Like, this person looks absolutely gorgeous, and they can act. They're a star. So if I was to cast a shitty B-rated movie, if I managed to cast Succubus's Gone Wild, or some other creation like that, but I would have managed to get Arnold to play in my movie, you guarantee that I would have cinemas packing. Even if the story was awful, even if everything was bad, it's just the fact that you get a star to play in your film, you would get people interested in the production. Nowadays, what actors do is they're being cheeky little shits online. They're latching on to controversies. They're latching on to things that are above their pay grade. And the reason that they do this is they expect people to talk about it on Twitter, to talk about it on social media. They end up trending. And because their name is their brand, that is how they can judge who's a better actor. It's like, look, people are talking about me on social media much more than you, therefore I'm the better actress. That's literally it. And the shit that they are saying are things that are safe. Do you think she gives a fuck about your kids? She doesn't care. You think she cares about children? No, she doesn't. But like she says the speech. For instance, the moment, what was it, the name? Cena, right? Like the wrestler? John Cena, right? The moment the CCP cracked down on him and it affected his finances, he was like, oh, so sorry, please, so sorry. Right? The only thing that they do is to say the things that are popular, or at least that they view as safe. Like Gina Carano was an exception, and you see what happens, right? Because it gives you the illusion as if these actors actually have opinions of their own. They don't. They're acting. Even when they're off the movie set, they're still acting. They're reading the script. They're reading the prompter. They're saying what people expect them to hear them say. Because otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, how is it possible that out of thousands of actors, they all have the same opinions on controversial issues? Like, what is the likelihood that if you take 1,000 people and you put them in a room, they all think the same about the most controversial issues imaginable? And to be fair, you know, like with She-Hulk, like, she already managed to alienate almost every single right-winger from watching this. So at this point, like, it makes sense to say these things because, like, she knows that the people watching the movie would keep watching it. But, like, if I see her in other productions, I'm not going to watch out of principle. I don't like when actors have controversial takes. They need to shut the fuck up and just act. So, apparently, Duncan made it a requirement for schools that when a student requests that their preferred name, gender identity, and or gender expression be used, parental guardian consent will be required for the student under the age of 16. And the involvement of third-party organization is supporting school division and teachers will delivering instruction related to sexual health. Why the fuck is this even a thing? Like, it wasn't a thing throughout the entire human culture, all the way up until 2020. Like, all the cultures around the world throughout the entire time in history, this wasn't a thing. But it is a thing now. And we're going Pikachu face when people are saying, no, we actually think that parents should be able to educate their kids. Like, we're talking about a group of people that's so vulnerable simply because you can tell them that Santa Claus is real and they will literally believe you. They will literally believe you. There's even videos on YouTube where the father has $10,000 in a cookie and is asking the kid, would you like the money or the cookie? And they're reaching for the cookie every single time. And you think that it's appropriate for a teacher to come in and start indoctrinating these students, which, again, like, will believe anything, including that a fat man goes through the chimney. And you think, like, they know better than the adults that are supposed to guard them. It's insane. I don't even know what to say. Again, like, there is a reason why throughout the entire human history, throughout all the various cultures, this thing did not exist. And the fact that she's getting backlash is perfectly expected. You know, outside of like a fringe places in California, New York, Portland, and a few other places, no one thinks like this. Like, no one thinks this is a great idea. And if you keep pushing it, like, people will just stop sending their kids to school, man. Like, there is a reason why you have separation between church and state. It was specifically designed to maintain harmony and to avoid this type of shit. But let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.